Hey everybody! Update time! Update time! What's going on? Guess what? IRS tax refunds now going out! They are going out! Woohoo! Yes, yesterday, 23 billion in IRS tax refunds went out. So that's an improvement now. We have seen in this one day a narrowing in the year-over-year negative in the fiscal flows, but they're still negative. All right, by the way, I just sent out an email to MMT Trader subscribers. If you're on the list, check your email because I gave you my analysis in there and I gave you some numbers. All right, but the IRS tax refunds that had been held or were being held pursuant to this new law, which went into effect this year, I guess about a 10-day period, they were holding these refunds, and we saw a big negative swing in the fiscal flows, almost a 90 billion swing to the downside. The tax refunds are now going out. We're still negative year over year, but that gap has narrowed, and we'll have to see how that progresses now. All right. Next thing I want to talk about, I don't know if some of you maybe caught the Trump's comments in the budget meeting yesterday. I included that in the email that I just sent out to MMT Trader subscribers. And by the way, if you want that email, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for a 30-day free trial to MMT Trader, and I will send you the email. Anyway, in those comments, Trump, oh man, the guy's talking like a typical fiscal hawk, all right? He's saying the debt's too big, we got to rein it in, we got to do spending cuts, we got to watch for every penny that we're going to spend, we've inherited a big problem here, we got to bring down the debt, all the typical classic misguided, misinformed stuff that you hear from people all the time, all right? So he's on that train right now. He's 100% on that train, and supposedly the budget coming up, and next month, March, we're almost there, man. Next month, you got the budget negotiations, and you have the debt ceiling, which has to be increased. All right. Now this kind of throws a whole new light because Trump, he's kind of been leaning in that direction, and I've been telling you, look, he hooked up guys like Mickey Mulvaney, his budget director. This guy is a super ideological fiscal hawk. Okay, he's got other guys like Tom Price at HHS. He's got, a bunch of people who are big time deficit hawks, big time. All right. Ryan wants to cut Social Security, wants to eliminate Medicare, wants to privatize that. So you got all this, and now he's talking like your classic, typical deficit hawk, dead hawk. He sounds like Peter Schiff. All right. So you have that. You have the debt ceiling that has to be raised. Now, all that's coming up. And on the other hand, you got the stock market and stock investors. Woohoo! Everything's fantastic. There's going to be fiscal stimulus. He's going to do $1 trillion infrastructure. He's going to cut taxes. Listen, he's going to cut taxes. We know we're going to get a corporate tax cut because the corporations always get what they want. But I've been through this, all right? The corporate tax cut is really not going to amount to very much because corporations right now, they pay effectively 12%. So a reduction from 35 to 20, I don't know. There's going to be something thrown in there for the middle class. It's going to be some tax thing, but let's face it, it's not going to be a cut in the payroll tax. Now that would have been huge. That would have been huge, okay? He's not doing it. Never even discussed, never even mentioned the payroll tax. That's the one thing. If you really want to help the middle class, you cut the payroll tax. Payroll tax. What else? The border adjustment tax. I told you about that. That is a net tax because we import more than we export. So if you're going to tax imports and exempt exports, you're taxing the bigger thing, which is imports. We import more than we export. So that is a net tax on the economy. It's also inflationary, people. That's a price increase. All right. So you have that. All right. You have the spending cuts. You have a corporate tax cut, which, I don't know if that really changes anything. And you have some mysterious thing that they're going to give to the middle class. We don't know what that is yet. And then in the backdrop, against this backdrop, you have the stock market that goes up every single day and people thinking, this is boom times. All right. And I forgot to mention, you got the whole thing with the credit growth just falling off a cliff. So that's what's going on right now. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. No. Man. So that's the picture, folks. That is the picture right now. But the good news is the IRS tax refunds, they are going back out. We are still negative year over year. Today, gold at $12.50, dollar down. And by the way, today was the first day that we did not have a rally in the S&P and the Dow into the close making new highs, all right? NASDAQ settled lower, pretty much unchanged, near unchanged on the S&P. So we'll have to see. I will be checking the open interest in the S&Ps. You know, I am looking for that day when something has to go pop. We're going to see that open interest come down because some group in there is going to tap out. Some group in there is going to, first there's going to be a group that taps out on the upside. Then there's going to be a group that taps out on the downside. And that's going to be some kind of tap out, let me tell you. When those institutional asset managers, and by the way, it couldn't happen to a better group of people. I'll see you, everybody. Bye.